Hi everybody from TechnoLost and welcome to the dedicated focus on the gaming capabilities for concern the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Well, this is the 9505 version, which means that it has a Snapdragon 800 CPU with an Adreno 330 GPU and 3GB of LPDDR3 memory. So we will see today the following games: Asphalt 8, Real Racing 3, Buggy Blitz, That Trigger 2, Into That, Shadowgun Deadzone, Riptide GP 2, FIFA 14 and Virtua Tennis. So let's start with Asphalt 8. I've been trying this game on some recent devices, like for instance the Asus Nexus 7 2013 version, and to be honest, I found this game to be definitely not perfectly smooth, but we may think that the problem was the device itself. I mean the Asus Nexus 7 2013. Definitely we will see running this game on this Galaxy Note 3 if the problem is the games itself or the device. Here, just to give you the quick look at the fact that we're running the game at the highest possible level. So let's start the game. Yep. And let's see how this Galaxy Note 3 handle this Asphalt 8. Here we go. As you may see, we seem to have some micro stuttering here and there. This is definitely not something I would expect from this Galaxy Note 3. Definitely, so this must be not a problem for the poor Asus Nexus 7 2013, but it's more something dealing with the game itself. I mean, we're not talking nothing dramatic here. This is definitely not something that won't let us play this game, but definitely we can see some stuttering here and there while running this game. Even while using this Samsung Galaxy Note 3, which is definitely not possible, considering that this device has really terrific hardware specs. 4-core CPU with 2.3 GHz clock speed, and we have 3 GB of LPDDR3 memory. We even have the Adreno 330. So definitely this is not something that we may expect, or we may think that is a problem of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 itself. Bear with me for not being such a good driver, at least in this kind of game. Oops. Nevertheless, as you can see, the game is running pretty well. Not too much problem, although some micro lag here and there, but it's definitely enjoyable and playable. This is not a big problem, and the graphic details is very high, especially this highest possible quality, as I showed you already into the settings. We have very detailed texture, so it's very nice and good looking game. Okay, with this last big jump, we'll stop the Asphalt 8 test for the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. So let's go on. The next game that I'm going to show you is Real Racing 3. A pretty good looking game. It's a very nice, and it's maybe the most the nearest game to the simulation, racing simulation that we have in Android. Although it's nothing but a little bit more than an arcade game maybe, but it's pretty good. So let's do the welcome for this game. Okay, few more setup and we are ready to go. Okay, if you see the grid here passing behind the car, you may see that the, it was not perfectly smooth. This is really strange. I'm not using any energy saving mode on this Galaxy Note 3 while performing this video focus. So this must be definitely something dealing with the game itself. What's more, this is one of these games that I'm not able to see it running perfectly smooth on any Android device that I've been testing it on. So I'm talking of course about Android devices, because I know that iOS devices generally are a little bit better for what concerns smoothness and sometimes even for what concerns graphic details of Android devices. That's because of course of many reasons, like the different operating system, the fact that we have less fragmentation for what concerns hardware specs like CPU and GPU. So it's easier and even cheaper for developers to produce a game which is perfectly optimized for the underlying hardware platform. Here is even more difficult because we have so many different GPUs, so many different CPUs, so many different RAM configuration that it's definitely not easy. If we don't even take into consideration the difference between the operating system, iOS, it's all written in Object-C. Here we have most part of the system which are written in Java, which is not definitely one of the best language for concept performances. So this is the Real Racing 3 running on the Galaxy Note 3, which is nevertheless pretty good, although as we saw it was not perfectly smooth with some micro lag here and there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you that this Galaxy Note 3 is not a good platform for what concerns hardware gaming. Just let me show you here that we have the maximum details for what concerns graphic resolution, but nevertheless, we have in some games some stuttering, which is not due to the Galaxy Note 3 itself, but more to those games that are not perfectly optimized for the hardware platform. Buggy Blitz is another of those games which sometimes very weirdly it's lagging. It's more than lagging, it's stuttering a little bit. Here as you can see, that seems to be perfectly smooth, but I'm pretty sure that during the race we will see at least in one point the game stuttering. Maybe something very small, nothing dramatic. It's microsecond lag or microsecond stutter, but there is, and at least there will be. Think so? We will see. Here we go. As you saw during the jump, we have the micro stutter that I was talking to you about. This is very weird, as I told you. This game usually runs 99% of times pretty smooth, then sometimes without any without any reason does have some stutter here and there. Okay, anyway, you can see the graphics is pretty good. Games most of the time runs perfectly smooth, so it's not a problem. Okay, let's switch to the next game, which is finally Dead Trigger 2. Very nice game that I was looking forward to play, because it's a very nice, and I've always been loving the first version, which is Dead Trigger. So let's start the game. Just wanted to show you that we have here the maximum graphical details already set up. Okay, we have very high graphic details. So let's start the game. Okay, let's play. You know what, I'm talking to you about the micro stuttering, all that stuff, and I don't want you to think that this Galaxy Note 3 is not a good platform for gaming. Maybe actually it's the best Android device for concerned games, because we have this huge screen with a very high resolution, full HD resolution, 5.76 inches diagonal display. We have quad-core CPU, which is 2.3 GHz, and we have 3 GB of LPDDR3 memory. So this is probably the best actual device for what concern Android device, at least for what concern gaming. But this is the reason why I'm talking to you about these problems. I mean, we have the best Android device for concern hardware specs that we could find probably at the moment, but we still have some micro stutters here and there while playing. This is really something maybe unbearable for the Android platform. I do really hope that more and more games developer will start a little bit to optimize games, at least on hardware platform like this Snapdragon 800, which is very widespread nowadays on many Android devices. So let's close these boring parentheses. Sorry guys, but you know, this, I do care a lot about the Android platform, and I would like to see it having, you know, a little bit better treatment by games developers. Anyway, that Trigger 2 is fantastic. It's really good. Very good graphic details, wonderful texture quality. So this may be, you know, something to compare with many games on home console like Xbox 360 or PS3. We have such good quality here, and you don't have to forget that this game does support perfectly the gamepad, which makes running this game such a great experience. So I do suggest you to try running this game with the gamepad, because it's really great. Okay, I don't want to you know, lose too much time playing these games, because we have so many other games to try. So let's go on and, you know, let's give some other stuff here. This was that Trigger 2 running on the Galaxy Note 3. So the next game that I want to show you is Into the Dead. This game shouldn't have any kind of problem with this Galaxy Note 3. This is another never-ending game. Okay, just to show you that I've already set up the graphical details here to the maximum possible level. Here we go. So let's start a game. Play. Okay. Here we go. Let's see how far we can go. As you can see, this game is not, you know, doesn't seem to be one of the you know, heaviest game actually on the market. At least I didn't have problem in, you know, running these games almost on any device that I could try this game on. Of course, most of the devices were high-end devices, so it's pretty easy right now to tell you that this game is not heavy. I had some problem only on the Huawei P6 with, you know, probably due to the fact that the device had, you know, not a common GPU, maybe with some problem with the graphic driver or the GPU itself. So as you can see here, we can continue running quite a little bit, but I don't want you to get too boring. So just when we reach the next step, then I'm going to change the game. Let me get into the, oops, we are, okay, maybe it's better to stop here. Let me be eaten by a zombie. Okay, and this was Into the Dead. The next game that I'm going to show you is Shadowgun Deadzone, made by the same developers of Death Trigger 2 is a pretty good game. There's a multiplayer version of Shadowgun, which is even multi-platform, which means that we can play against our friend having an iOS device. Yes, let me show you the details. Ultra high quality, and let's start the game with a deathmatch game. So these games does support greatly the gamepad, so I do suggest you to try it with the gamepad because it's really another story. Is great. The graphical details of the game is really nice. You will see in a few seconds. Look at this, very good graphical details. Oops, I didn't see it coming. As you can see, the graphical details are very high. It does remind me of games like Gears of War. Oh, I'm not a good player. Definitely not without a gamepad. Okay. Hope you can forgive me for my terrible performance. What I liked of the last Death Trigger 2 is the fact that you can, oh come on, how slow are you? Too slow in moving and turning on the other side. I was telling you that one of the games and the things I love about the recent Death Trigger is the fact that you can, oh come on, you can play without having to shoot, because you just have to point your the cross on the enemy and start shooting automatically, which is quite nice, considering that we are using touch control, which is not that easy, at least for me. Hope that this Shadowgun Deadzone will have something like this, or something the same way in the next version. Well, this poor guy was sleeping, don't know why. So let's die one more time and then we will change the game. Where are you? In the meanwhile, hoping you can appreciate how the graphical details are into this game are so high. Okay, and this was Shadowgun Deadzone running on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Now let's give a look to the, not this one. The next game that I want to show you is Riptide GP 2. So this game was, recently released. This is a pretty good game for what concerns graphical details. So let me show you that we have already set up the graphical details to the maximum possible quality. Here we go. So let's start the game. The Samsung Galaxy Note 3 doesn't seem to have any kind of problem in running perfectly smooth this game. Here we have even very nice transparency effect for what concerns the water, and everything is really fast and smooth. It's such a pleasure to play this game. We even have some lens flare effect, as you saw before. Okay, this game really has no kind of problem, even when we have the graphical details set up to the maximum possible quality. Look at this blur effect due to turbo mode I'm using. Very nice. Oops. Sorry, very good looking graphic. And no problem at all for this Riptide GP2, at least on this Galaxy Note 3. Okay. Now this game does support greatly the gamepad too, so I would suggest you to use the gamepad here, because it's a very nice experience. Okay, this is Riptide GP2 running on the Galaxy Note 3. Now the next game we're going to see is definitely FIFA 14. This game doesn't seem to be too heavy, but what's more, like for Into the Dead, I've been able to try this game just on very high-end platforms, so it's easy right now to tell you that this game doesn't have problem. So let's see. Bear with me because I'm not a good player. Okay. Most of the times the camera of the games is quite far, so you cannot appreciate the graphical details of the game itself. But during the replay or in stuff like this, when you have the the beginning of the game, you have this kind of zoom in view of the players. There you can realize how this game is very well done for what concern graphic details. Oh. Let's try to change side. See if we have better luck here. Oh. Here, as you can see from the replay, how the movement of the players is so smooth. Maybe they did use motion capture to, Oh. Okay. Uh-oh. What's happening? Oh, come on, guys. I was missing the digital pad on the left, sorry. What a bad shot. Anyway, this is FIFA 14 running on the Samsung Samsung Galaxy Note 3, sorry. Okay, the last game that we will see today is Virtua Tennis. This is definitely not one of the most recent games actually on the Play Store, but definitely is a very nice game. Maybe it's one of the best games, if not definitely the best game for what concerns tennis on the Play Store. This game too does support the gamepad perfectly, so try to use it if you can on this game, and you will have very good gaming experience for this Virtua Tennis. I mean, from the game graphics is pretty good, although as you can see the details of the texture is definitely not too high, at least for the nowadays standard. Okay. From the replay you can see, look at this, the face of the player, the quality of the texture definitely is not that high. Oops. Oh, come on. I do really like playing tennis, and this is one of the best games. I do really like playing this game too, in fact. backspin. Okay. And this is the last point for this virtual tennis. So we saw definitely several games running on this Galaxy Note 3, so I think you did realize by yourself that this is one of the best devices for what concerns gaming actually on the market. We have huge display with very high resolution, extremely powerful, very long lasting battery. This is actually one of the best devices for concern games playing on Android. So for what concerns this dedicated focus on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 gaming capabilities, that's all. Once more, thanks for watching and bye from TechnoLost.